And here we go. I hope you're hungry for nothing.
All right, open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
Hello, my DC fans. We continue to get gigantic updates with James Gunn's DCU. Yesterday, we just had the mind-blowing news of the addition of our Hawkgirl, Gardner Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, faces I don't think a lot of us were betting to show up in Superman Legacy, and it doesn't end there, because we just got another face added on. And you know what, with all these superheroes getting added on to Superman Legacy, it has sparked some backlash from DC fans. There's a good chunk of them, we know who they are, let's just let them be loud, that's what they do best. But I'm not even gonna pretend. I'm looking at all these superheroes showing up in Superman Legacy and I'm scratching my head going, I don't see the vision yet, James Gunn, but I'm trusting you to cook. I'm trusting you to make me a nice meal. And we even have James Gunn responding to that backlash and his stance, giving us an idea of his vision. So I'm going to be breaking that down all here for you guys, but I am very much curious about your opinion on whichever side you fall on, whether you're just excited and you're loving every little bit and update we're getting to the DCU, even if you're a little bit confused, or if you are someone on the more skeptical side going, look, I'm open to this new universe, but I do not see how this is a Superman movie. This feels like a Justice League light movie with C-list characters. Alright, so yes, just a quick recap of everything we learned yesterday. We had Vanity Fair confirm to us 3 actors joining Superman Legacy that'll be playing big heroes. We have Isabela Merced playing Hawkgirl in there, love that. Nathan Fillion coming in as Gardner Green Lantern, also love that. They even confirmed the dang bowl cut will be coming in the movie. And Gathegi as Mr. Terrific, and that sent the internet ablaze, you know, because we just got a bunch of superheroes that are now added onto the DCU. Think of it this way, the Fantastic Four with the MCU was announced back in 2019. We are now, what, several years in? We still don't know any of that cast. Superman Legacy got announced at the beginning of this year, and it's bringing forth like 1/4 of the new DCU. James Gunn is moving quick, and he is not stopping there, because today we got the article confirming of another new hero showing up in this movie, one you probably didn't expect. The Hollywood Reporter having it here that Superman Legacy nabs Barry star Anthony Carrigan as DC hero Metamorpho. And let me tell you, I am familiar with Metamorpho, and I actually got really hyped when I saw he would be in Superman Legacy. Still don't understand how he'll be part of the movie, but that character alone, now coming into live action, oh, that is exciting for me. Just to give you a rough summary of him, his name is Rex Mason. He was an archaeologist that came in contact with a meteor that granted him the power to transform his body into any element. You know, he can go into water, to ice, to fire, to wood, to gold, to kryptonite. As long as it's an element, he can shape his body into that. I don't know why, but I remember seeing him in the Justice League animated series and just being obsessed with that power. I think that is one of the coolest powers to have. And having the actor Anthony Carrigan play him, I'm sure he's going to do a fantastic job. I've seen him in episodes of Barry, and I think he is a really great actor. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't even know why we're surprised that we're seeing James Gunn introduce all these lesser-known DC characters in the movie, because it's kind of like the thing he loves to do. Back when James Gunn was fired at Marvel for a period, and then DC came to give him a movie, he wanted to do the Suicide Squad so he can introduce a lot of lesser-known characters like Polka Dot Man and make them part of a really fun, entertaining movie. Which is why I was all that more surprised he actually took up the job to be the head of DC Studios and have creative control over all these people, and now we're seeing his love for lower level characters trying to get the spotlight and bring them up a notch. He said here specifically when it was announced on Instagram saying, Metamorpho is one of my favorite all-time characters, and I'm unbelievably excited by how we're bringing him to the screen in Superman Legacy, and equally excited about working with Anthony Carrigan. And you know, I'm kind of wondering here if Metamorpho is maybe going to have a larger role than the other 3 announced characters. Because these actors that are showing up in Superman Legacy, these aren't leaked actors, these aren't just like, oh, they snuck up on us. No, a lot of the times when these announcements for actors come in, they were fed this information directly by Warner Brothers or even James Gunn themselves. And so to know that they purposely decided, okay, we're going to announce these 3 superheroes in a Vanity Fair article, they're going to come together, they're going to have supporting roles in the movie, and then the next day, we're going to dedicate an entire announcement to this hero coming in, it makes me feel like he might have more of a pivotal role. And like I mentioned to you guys, this character has the ability to turn into kryptonite if he likes, making him a very formidable foe against Superman. If we're at a point in this DC universe where the world knows Superman has a weakness to kryptonite. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, but just the way James Gunn said it, where like, and I'm unbelievably excited about how we're bringing him to the screen in Superman Legacy. I'm like, this character might play a bigger role than we thought. The other part about this is DC fans have also been pointing out we have half of the Terrifics now available in the DC universe, Mr. Terrific and Metamorpho. The team also includes Plastic Man and Phantom Girl. You could almost kind of think of them as the Fantastic Four for the DC universe. And with half of the team there, you know they're going to be setting them up for a movie or show somewhere down the line. But speaking of setting stuff up, this brings in a major concern a lot of fans have been having, and even I myself, okay, I've said it. I trust James Gunn. I am a fan of his. And I want DC to succeed. But this direction he has taken where he's keeping some stuff from the old universe, some actors will be the same, some will be recasted. Like Nathan Fillion, he was the detachable kid in the Suicide Squad, but now he's been recasted as Guy Gardner Green Lantern. I would have rather have had a much more clean cut because there's just already such confusing mess to it. Even James Gunn is reiterating online that Superman Legacy is still the first DCU movie, but Blue Beetle is going to be coming into the DCU. We just might not listen or pay attention to anything that happens in a solo film. We're just going to take the character itself and the actor. And with Superman Legacy really introducing a lot of DC characters out there, it is making me afraid that it's like, is this movie going to be overstuffed? Is this going to be another Batman vs. Superman situation? Because again, I know there are fans of Batman vs. Superman, and I have even come around to becoming a fan of this movie, but when it first came out, I was furious with this film doing so much setting up, so much world building, that I felt it really distracted from the story of Batman vs. frickin' Superman. It was setting up our new Batman, it was setting up the Flash, and a dystopian future that might come, and turning Superman evil, and then Wonder Woman, and then all these other characters, and to top all that off, you had the death of Superman and Doomsday thrown in there. It was one stuffed movie. And I would hate for James Gunn to kind of repeat those same mistakes of trying to set everybody up and future projects in the first big Superman film. So of course, he's responded to a couple of fans. One of the first comments he made yesterday with the Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, and Green Lantern news, he said, "I've never used one movie to set up another movie. The characters are there because they help to tell Superman's story better, not so we can set up separate projects in the franchise. Superman and Lois are the very clear protagonists." And let me tell you, those words put me at ease. It's going to be another thing whether those words are true or not once we see the movie, but if that's truly James Gunn's goal, I trust the man, and I'm hoping this delivers on being a Superman-centric movie. And I've already said it before, I think the Guardian movies are a great example of James Gunn not really using them to set up another thing. They are self-contained stories that focus in on themselves. So even though James Gunn said that yesterday, kind of reassuring people that Superman Legacy will still focus on Superman, with the casting now of another superhero joining the movie, people are like, I'm calling cap, James Gunn. You were just giving us Justice League Light. And he doubled down again responding to this. Here someone replied to the news saying, "I thought this was a movie about Superman," with James Gunn replying, "Superman is a man of two worlds, Clark with Lois, Jimmy, and Perry, and Superman with his metahuman compatriots. How could I tell a full story about Clark/Superman without including all the areas of his life?" And again, I'm glad James Gunn commented and said that, because now I'm starting to see the vision a little clearer for how this could be a centered, focused Superman movie. We're going to see a balance of both lives of Superman here. Clark at the Daily Planet, which we do know is him starting 2 years in. James Gunn clarified about that and said that the movie will be taking place with him working at the Daily Planet in his first couple of years. But it looks like the movie will already have Superman established as a known hero, and he'll have working relationships with other heroes, making this feel a lot more like the Justice League animated series, where we just jump into a world where all these heroes exist. We don't need to worry about their origins, set them up. They are just there, all in their peak, not about to retire or having an old Batman that's had like 20 or 30 years of past history with him. Because again, I love me Ben Affleck Batman. He was done dirty by Warner Brothers, but I hated that they gave us a Batman that has been through so much history that we never got to see or experience. And that's what I was kind of afraid of would happen with all these established heroes, is we would see all of them past their peaks, all established with tons of history. this feels more like we're falling into the middle of all their stories. So though I agree and understand the people who are skeptical and are looking at all these casting choices for Superman Legacy going, I don't know if this is gonna work out, man. Hearing James Gunn explain himself a little bit does give me hope. And now again, just rereading the plot for Superman Legacy by James Gunn, this Superman is gonna be the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way, guided by human kindness in a world that sees kindness as old-fashioned. We don't know the exact plot for Superman Legacy, but it seems more and more likely that all these heroes are there because there's going to be some big major world conflict. They all have one way of wanting to fix it, and Superman is going to see the more kindness, heartfelt, good farm kid boy way of handling it, and might oppose all his fellow heroes and comrades. So you know what? Even with my skepticisms and even with me being concerned with all these interesting casting choices, I'm in. I want a good Superman movie, and I want a DC universe filled with awesome heroes that are finally getting the spotlight. So this is where I throw it off to you guys. You see now James Gunn's comments on the Backlash. You see the new updates on heroes coming into Superman Legacy. Do you have faith in this movie? Do you think it's all cap and it's like, no, this is still going to be a setup mess, an over-bloated movie? Be really curious to hear what you guys think. But don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.